How was that, Dad? Bloody rough.
We're gonna have to
Too rough. Okay. Have we emptied it out?
I couldn't use the auto steer because it's set for 28 metres.
Ah, right.
So we have to get that stuff fixed to do the rest of the spraying. I'm not fucking spraying all that out there like that.
No.
It's only got 300 litres left in it, isn't it?
I suppose we could unhook it here. Yeah. Spraying's done. We have got a lot of mucking around to do yet. We got to fill the combine. We got to hook up all the hoses, put the tractor on the front, and make sure everything's working. Make the dirty water mix and all this jazz. And in 6 hours' time, because a certain part of the chemical that we've got in there, you're not supposed to plant anything on the ground you've sprayed with that particular chemical for 6 hours. So we've got 6 hours of mucking around left to do, and then at sunset we could potentially be testing the flashiest combine in Western Australia. Yeah, so that's basically where we're at the moment. If you're joining us off the back of the last video, g'day everyone, my name's Noah. You're watching TJM Farming here on YouTube. We are a West Australian wheat and sheep farm, or trying to be a West Australian oats, barley and sheep farm on the bank of the Mod River. You're joining us on the 29th of June 2025, that's Sunday, and off the back of the last video we set the sprayer up this morning. We top dressed fertiliser out last night, and those two paddocks we ploughed the other day. Now we have got a lot of mucking around left to do to get the combine ready for seeding. But right now it's lunchtime. It's time to go in, get something to eat. Just like the Rams and the Specs are doing. We call them the Rams and the Specs because these are our Rams, and we've got two little wethers with them that are petite sheep. Little tiny babies. Well, they're not babies, they're actually quite old. They're still lambs, over 1 year old, but they just didn't grow, so they're like midget sheep. They could become pets yet, you never know. Good afternoon. You joined us after lunch, and well, good news and bad news. Good news is we got the sprayer working. Bad news is the sprayer's still broken. We've still got that fitting to fix. I need to travel down to Chamberlain to get that part, but Dad got the screen going properly now. Just needed a reset. Now we're hooking it up to the combine. That's hooked up.
We want the
I think the yellow one's from the fan assist. So in theory these two must be the lift and lower.
Yep. Oh, this is free. Okay. Yeah.
This one. Right, so if we've done that right, that should mean when we turn the tractor on, we should be able to turn the fan assist on. Yeah. Right, moment of truth, here we go. Okay. Hydraulic remotes 2 and 3 plugged in. So. Yep. Fan assist is running. It's working. So that means that's up.
We just need one stopper in. We've got to take them all out. I have no idea. I don't even know where the pinhole is now. We want to turn the fertiliser shaft
Turn the fertilizer shaft around the other side. Yep. Right, so fertilizer shafts. The pin is stuck. This is to be expected. This is the reason why we top dress with the multi-spreader instead of trying to put solid fertilizer in the combine, because that. Right, so taking the stoppers out, so hopefully we should be able to lower this, in theory anyway. Yeah, if we have to adjust it, we have to adjust it. Standing by. Combine is lowered a little bit too far. The wheels are off the ground. Oh boy, that could be a problem. Because these two big wheels, they're supposed to drive this, and if we have it too deep in the ground and the wheels are in the air, then yeah. Yeah.
And the front all up in the air. Which means we got to adjust this and
oh hell, it is bent too. I'm having flashbacks. We are away to test the combine, that is. We've tried to lower it down. It probably raised the back up by about 5 mil. That's gonna take it to a spot that he can lower it into the ground and test it. We'll follow him the gator and see how it does. If everything goes according to plan, we might be able to get seed in the ground tonight, hopefully. Here we go. Moment of truth. Oh, and it's crushed a tree branch. Hopefully it fits. Whoa! Shit. Try that again. Probably gonna hit the post and take it out. Ah, shit. I think the combine's too big. No. Hopefully we don't jackknife the thing. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get through, get through, get through, get through, get through. Oh, holding the wire up worked. We are in the paddock, and it is in the ground. I repeat, the combine is in the ground. Look at that. I'm sorry for the shaky camera, but that is in the ground. We made this. Right, so after a brief intermission to take some seed out of the seed and super bin, we realized that, yeah, the press wheels are all over the shop. Gonna have to be fixed later on, next year probably. We're just putting some oat seed in the bin just to test the depth. So hopefully, if we've got the depth right, the only thing that will make this all over the shop is my amateur ploughing. Right, that stopper's in, the other stopper's in. Hopefully if they got this set right, it should work. And the only way to find out is to turn it on and see what happens. Oh, and we are away. That is seeding 25 underway, even though this is just a test lap. Yeah, those press wheels are all over the shop.
nothing coming out.
That could be a problem.
This one's coming out. And that's it. There.
There.
Yeah, that's just right.
Just right.
Virtually empty.
Virtually empty. should hope so.
Otherwise we can suck it.
I can see some seed there. Right, drive forward and see what happens. Those seeds you can see on the top. So chances are the seeds probably in just these rows. But it's moving. And that tractor's handling it quite well by the looks. Haven't found any buried in them in the rows.
When you get a rain and the dirt will fall back. Should be. That one's not. What's that one now? It looks like there's some of these aren't sowing. I dug them out straight away.
Yeah.
It could be even deeper, really. Next is getting the truck sorted to fill the seed, and then we got to make liquid mix up. Can't tell this side because I didn't put any oats in it.
Yeah, we did it. We're planting in June, not July, even though there's 1 day of June left. I'm still marvelled by the fact that I helped make that. Well, I didn't help build it, per se, but I helped put it together. Right, so the plan will be to fill the combine up with seed. We've got this hose clamp here, this extension, and we've got another extension that goes along with that on the end of the elephant trunk here for the seed. Uncle Ken is warming up at the moment, and when the air pressure is built up, we'll take the truck over to where the combine is and hopefully fill it up with seed.
I think the shaft's too small. That'd be the new.
Right. And would you look at that? Screwdriver, yep. Yeah. This is the part that I don't like, having to put this stupid bloody mask on. This is not to do with any virus, it's just to do with all that stuff. So here we go, let's do it. Look at that. It's filling up. Trying to keep it level. This is so much better than filling it up with bags. This is luxury. took us, what, 5 minutes, including the time to move the truck. Yeah, that happened. Look at that. What's that? Oh well, it'll last longer than that 511. Right, so the reason why I had to wear this stupid bloody pandemic mouth fogger is because, well, it's not because I have COVID or anything like that, even though I do have a cold. It's actually because of the dust from the seed coating.
Potassium silicate.
Yeah, and because I'm an asthmatic, dust like that, along with the fertilizer dust that I found out the hard way going over to help our neighbours put their crop in this week just gone, all that dust gets up in my nasal stuff and it just blocks it up and makes me sneeze and have this cold and all this other shit. So having this on, despite the fact that I hate wearing these masks due to PTSD from the virus that shall not be named, despite the fact that I don't like wearing this, I have to if I don't want to get sick. Yeah, because they're the new stoppers, aren't they? Well, you could say new.
Here goes that again.
Oh,
they're not really, they're right.
Diameter is just too short.
That's all they had when I bought these.
It's gonna have to do, I suppose. So while we put the stoppers on, I think we're gonna have to leave the filming side of things here for today because the GoPro's about to go flat. So what we're gonna do after this is we're gonna mix up some dirty water, put that in the IBC, and we might get something in the ground tonight, or if we run out of daylight, do it first thing in the morning. So that's where we'll pick this thing back up. See you then. Good morning, you join us on Monday the 30th of June, and well, it's supposed to be proper day one of seeding, and we've already got issues. As I stated the other day, the plough left that paddock and that paddock over there extremely rough, and unfortunately rough paddocks plus the combine is not a very good combination. We've snapped some fittings for the hoses already, and on top of that we've also got some issues with the pump that drives the liquid system that pumps the plant juice fertilizer mix, whatever you want to call this, in the shuttle here, that pumps it from the cart up to the liquid towers and puts it down to the tines, points and boots. In addition to the liquid hoses coming out, it's also taken off one of the seed hoses as well from that row there.
Yeah, can you give me
Zip tight. These teething problems, we did expect them, but oh well, we'll get the kinks ironed out this year, I suppose, and next year we'll probably have something better on this.
I don't have the spanner for that here, and that's come loose, look.
Ah, bugger me, and it's one of the ones that I put on.
Another one loose. Size are they? They're 16, aren't they?
Okay, so after some troubleshooting, literally getting the funnel for this row right here, this is where it was blocked. It was blocked because it had a kink in it. After some trial and error, we got that going. Now Dad's firing the pump up. So any second now we should have some liquid coming out of these hoses. And then after that, well, we'll be back to seeding. 3, 2, 1, go. And that is the second run of planting 2025 underway. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of rocks. I really should go put the rock bucket on the loader, pick some of these up. But yeah, look at that, it's working. Bit dusty, but that's all right. That is making it bounce about it quite substantially. Well, the battery's flat on the loader, not ideal, but if we come down here, yeah, you can see a seed there, that's out of the ground. What about under here? Can we find? Yep, yeah, look, right there, yep. So seed depth, that's good, okay. Well, it's got good trash flow, I'll give it that. Oh, but that poor combine's just been ripped to shreds by this country. Right, so there's just one single hose that just keeps ripping clean off, fitting and all. Yeah, looks like a parts run is in order.
About half a box.
Okay, we've done 4.2 hectares so far, so
Had, oh, we haven't got any left. The extra guys down back in the
So this is the first time you guys on the other side of the YouTube screen are actually seeing the filling process. What we do to fill the liquid cart currently is, well, we mix up fertilizer mix. Currently, right now, we've got dirty water in the bottom of the IBC. We've got a pump from there, running across there into the fill part of this pump here, and it's pumping it into the tank. I do believe the pipe that fills it up is also for the recirculation as well, to keep the liquid agitated. Because we've worked out we may be accidentally putting a little bit too much fertilizer out, and the pump is on idle when we do it, and we had to dilute the fertilizer a little bit just so that we can finish off these two paddocks here tonight. We've got most of this paddock done, we've just got a little spot and sets to do, then we'll be back over into that paddock. You can see it is quite overcast at the moment. We are expecting rain tomorrow and Wednesday. That currently they're forecasting 10 to 20 mils for our area, and tomorrow moderate chance of 1 to 5. That's currently what they're saying. Weather zone has been all over the place when it comes to that, and I don't exactly like it when it does that, because it makes it hard to plan around the weather what we're going to do. Currently we've got about 4.6 hectares done with this. Of course, we were expecting some teething troubles. We had to fix some of these strainer plates down there on the tines out this morning, and we also had to replace a couple of hoses, because where this one is, the one that was there before, it ripped off that fitting at the top 3 times alone today. So we went and got some Flexi garden hose. That's going to be the heavy duty stuff. Got that at Chamberlain when we went to get parts for the sprayer. So hopefully this will survive the rest of the paddock. Now, some of you may be shouting at the screen going, no, you've been outside of the tractor. We thought you were going to be driving it. Well, yes, I will be driving the combine eventually, just not today. And the reason for that is because while we're ironing out the kinks, Dad is going to be driving this, and when we get out the back paddock to where it's more of the smoother country, then I'll be in the driver's seat of the 7810, and hopefully by that time the new birthday present for the channel and for myself that I ordered for this channel's birthday, hopefully that will be here Wednesday. Perhaps by the time we're out in the back paddock, we should have some smoother and better audio quality and better, more stable video quality. I stated earlier, rocks. A lot of rocks in this paddock. What are we using to pick them? The loader. Okay, so it turns out the battery was not flat on the loader. I simply just left it in gear. That rookie mistake happens. It happens. So we got a couple of rocks in here. These are mostly unloaded from the Kubota. I'm gonna go tip those out, and I think what we might do, we'll just get the rest of the oats in the ground here and in that paddock tonight, and then we'll just go along with this bucket. It'd be really, in the ideal sense, it's a 2-person job, We have one person riding along the bucket here, picking up and rolling the rocks into the bucket like so, and have another person up in the top there driving. Because if I were to do this single-handedly, compared to the rock picker that I was driving for the best part of 6 or 7 weeks, I've been driving it since May, comparing the rock picker, which actually has a reel to pick up rocks with, to this, which doesn't. Of course, we could pull the high mac out from behind the tree and try and get that running, but that's just a bunch of extra running around that we don't necessarily want to do. So we're going to be using this instead. On the trash flow front, however, how does the Chamberlain 753 compare to the combine that I was driving last week? For context, go to the community page, scroll down a bit, and you'll see that I was driving the neighbour's combine. Well, that 511, which is currently in Peter and Liz's paddock, written off, it self-retired itself. It literally just fell to bits with 3 hectares left to go. Comparing the 511, which didn't have the best trash flow, to the 753 with the press wheels. Sure, the press wheels may have been bouncing all over the place, but you can see remains of hay there, and there. These are the bales that I asked the rams to clean up for us months ago. Rams, they only really understand you when you put them in a paddock with the girls and say, go have fun. And they also only really understand you when you put food out to them. Well, the rams basically ate most of this down, but there was still a patch of hay on the ground. You could see where the combine came through, went straight through, no blockages whatsoever. So the 753 has good trash flow. It just doesn't like rocks, but then no seeder is really designed for rocky ground. I think the plan from here is Dad's going to try and get the auto steer set up again. We got the pumper idling, but we're not having the liquid pouring out at the moment because we need to move the combine to the part of the paddock that we're actually going to be working. When it gets there, Dad will stop the tractor, jump out, open up the hose, and the liquid will start flowing, jump back in the tractor and go. That's basically what we need to do. This is actually quite the similar situation to how air seeders, like what was the Forward Engineer 660, that's how they used to operate back in the day. A little bit of extra context: before we had the Forward Engineer 660, we had a Morris Air Seeder, and before that we had the Chamberlain Air Cart, and the Chamberlain Air Cart was the basis for what that chassis is right there. The Forward Engineer 660 was the evolution from the Chamberlain Air Cart. There is a bracket plate where currently the pump is at the moment. That, underneath that pump, used to be where, like the bracket was, where you'd have a diesel motor. And how they used to do things around the time where they transitioned from combines to air seeders, or what we call the modern day air seeders. This was before they had tractors that had enough hydraulic flow and enough horsepower to run a hydro motor just by hydraulics. In that in-between era where you had tractors like the 555 Versatile, which were sitting around 250 horsepower, and tractors like the 8760 that had 300 horsepower. This was around the early mid-1990s. Tractors were still coming of age. No one had massive 830 horsepower tractors like they do these days, and to get big horsepower like that, you'd need to get something like a Baldwin, a Phillips Acremaster, or a Big Bud. The rest of us, what farmers in WA used instead, were to get very early air seeders. You still either had people running combines or air seeders with diesel motors. You had to fire the diesel motor up, just like we're doing the liquid pump right there, and as soon as the diesel generator was turned on and running, you had to jump back in the tractor and go, because that diesel motor gave power, which in turn ran the air seeder. So this is basically an air combine, if you will. These days, air seeders evolved to the point where tractors are large, big, powerful, monstrous machines that weigh tons and tons and tons, very heavy, and they've got enough hydraulic flow, enough PTO horsepower, enough engine horsepower and tyre grip to accurately run hydro motors, which in turn basically power the air fan, similar to the fan assist on there and the Gason tank over there, to basically power these air seeders. We do still have that Chamberlain Air Cart. It's actually sitting up at Canner at the moment alongside Johnny Header, alongside the other Chamberlain plows that still need to be brought down here. Eventually we'll get to that, but right now we've just had very little time to actually shift the rest of the gear down. But yeah, that's a brief history lesson of the transition era from combines like this to the modern day air seeder. Think back to the video where I revealed the 753, link in the top right hand corner of your screen, where I talked about Deere-ification. Well, the chassis of the Forward Engineer 660, that is based on the Chamberlain design, which got phased out. When Chamberlain first started producing air seeders, they initially had them in yellow. And then right around the time that John Deere decided to pull the plug on them, they switched to the Chamberlain Pine Green and the yellow, which is what I'm calling it. I'm calling it Chamberlain Pine Green compared to John Deere Green, which is a bit brighter compared to the pale lime green that the cart currently has. The air carts went from yellow to green with the Chamberlain branding on it. You may merit contracting one of his air carts, which still has, at one point, would have had a diesel motor. I'll need to go back and double check that video. Seen videos of other people using those kind of air carts where they had them in the green, and then after Chamberlain tractors became defunct in 1986, John Deere decided, well, we're not making Chamberlain tractors anymore, and so they closed the Welshpool factory for tractor making, and they sold the implement side of things to Forward Engineers. So initially, here I was thinking all this time that the modern day John Deere air seeders were based on that Chamberlain design. Actually, no. The American John Deere air seeders that later got imported to Australia, they were based on the Flexi-coil designs. Now, we did some research on this. In Casarius Modding's Discord server, we found that someone made a pretty terrible reskin of the Case Concords into John Deere Green. So I decided, well, that reskin looked pretty terrible. Surely it's got to be based on something. So I did a little bit of research, and I found that the original John Deere air seeders that were not the Chamberlain designs that we had in Australia first, the early John Deere air seeders, that was when John Deere briefly had a partnership with Flexi-coil in the 1990s. I do believe that it would have been around the 2300 series air carts that were painted John Deere green. This would have been the type of air seeders that tractors like the 8760, the 8960 and the 9400 after them, that's the kind of big equipment that would have been run on big time operations at that time. If people wanted to run straight green instead of the alternative, which would be just straight Flexi-coil. Flexi-coil air seeders that John Deere based their design for would have led to stuff like the 1890 air carts and the CCS, and then the modern day C850 and the C650 air carts that they're putting out these days. All this stuff that I have very little knowledge of, because we do not run John Deere air seeders on our farm. We've never run a John Deere tank. We have run a John Deere air seeder bar, but well, we may not have that bar much longer. Pretty hush-hush on that at the moment, but when the time comes, I'll reveal what we're doing with that. Yeah, that's a little bit of a interesting history of air seeders of that time frame. Here I was really thinking that you would have thought that John Deere would have taken the Chamberlain design, tweaked it a bit, Deere-ified it, and sold it as their own in the North American market. But no, it was actually completely different stuff to really think about, isn't it? Oh, look at all those rocks. Far out, I've got a lot of work to do. Through the seeded gateway. It's probably put seeds in the ground, I'm not sure if it has or not. But it's back here, looks like that might need to fill in. This right here is the reason why I'm not allowed to drive the combine yet. It's because it's real bumpy through here and not a lot of room to turn around. So it's probably better off that I drive the combine when it's out the back in the West End with the more open country. I bloody hate love grass. Gets in the way, blocks everything up. Probably drag this across here and off the fire break so it's out of the way there. Right, well, the liquid's certainly working. You can definitely see where the soil wet has been. What's our seed depth looking like, Bindi Sue? No? Oh, she's gone to see Dad. Right, so we got the Uncle Ken warming up now to put oat seed in, and we got more hose troubles. Early days yet, but Dad is not thrilled whatsoever. So I got a dust mask on, a proper one this time. It's still not very good, but I'm moving the truck out the way now. Hopefully we can get this seeding done. I just hope it's not going to get stuck. Oh, look at that, like a tank. Oh, that's good. I'm a bit concerned about that rut though. Right, take this bloody thing off. Yeah, right, so the combine's filled. We should have enough liquid in there for this little paddock. Hopefully we'll get it all done tonight. We can only hope. And yeah, right, hopefully everything will work. Because I know Dad's been having some issues with the auto steer as well. We probably need to see about upgrading that in the future, but let's get this out of the way. And there we go. Second paddock for 2025. Dad says stuff the GPS, he's doing it free-handed. Right, we're nearly there now. I think Dad's got about one pass left to go, and then that's our hay crop in the ground. This of course is not the end of seeding just yet, as we still got another 30 hectares left to go. We've got enough seed to do 10 hectares of oat seed out in the northwest paddock, and then we need to go and fetch the barley seed, and we're going to put 20 hectares of barley seed in. Now, of course, we know due to the fact that this is late in the season, it's July tomorrow. I know I said I didn't want to be seeding in July, but the conditions are still right for us to put the crop in, so long as we're not seeding mid-July. This is basically the circumstances that we've been dealt with. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Good news is the hay crop's in. Bad news is one of the hoses has now got a hole blown into it. By the looks, it's been duct taped before, but duct tape can only hold on for so long before it bursts. From the looks of things, we may need to do a lot more modifications to this next year. Good afternoon and welcome to the 1st of July. I know I said we were not going to be seeding in July, but that's just the way things have happened. In the previous clips of the video, you would know, well, suddenly the visual quality of this video has become much better, and hopefully so has the audio. Well, right here is, well, it's a fourth wall breaking moment. This right here was the GoPro Hero 7 White that I built this channel off the back of. I've had this since 2020, and this was the camera that I filmed the lost archives of Nelly Creek during the 2020 COVID pandemic, through 2021 with the cyclone, and all of the stuff on Erenvale has pretty much been filmed with this. Now, as the channel is approaching its 7th anniversary this year, I started this channel on my birthday back in 2018. There have been a couple of things over the years that people have told me that need to be improved upon. First of all, the camera stabilization. I've been told that my videos are quite shaky. Now, the reason for this is because this setup right here is what I literally was using for the best part of 2 years. I did have a tripod that tried to make things a little bit more stable last year, but on election night of this year, 2025, the tripod literally fell to bits on me. So I decided, right, well, I need a new tripod. And at the same time, this camera was starting to get on a bit. It stopped being supported by GoPro properly. And if I wanted to improve things like my audio quality, because that's the second factor, the wind noise. Erenvale is a pretty windy farm, and that's due to the fact that this is closer to the coast than Nelly Creek was. So I decided that moving forward, if this channel is going to improve upon the past 7 years, I need to improve my mic quality, and I need to improve the video stabilization. Unfortunately, this means that this camera cannot have very good video stabilization because I had to go back to the floaty, and it was not compatible with the GoPro Media Mod. So I bit the bullet, spent $846 on a GoPro Hero 13 Creators Edition, which is what you're seeing. This is what I'm filming on right now. So pretty much it's time to take a good look at this camera and thank it for its service. I won't be chucking this in the bin. I'm not gonna be partaking in any of this e-waste, but, well, it's one of many things on this farm that it's time to pass down to the next generation. Seeing as I've upgraded my camera now, and this is going to be the camera that I'm going to be using moving forward. This GoPro, if Chloe wants to go into the vlogging circle later down the track, this will be the camera she'll start off. It's sort of like a hand-me-down. Now, I know that, well, today's the 1st of July, and so my birthday and the channel's birthday is 11 days away. We were expecting this to actually rock up tomorrow, but Officeworks was pretty quick in dispatching it, and they sent it off tomorrow. So, all right, we'll go straight in tomorrow, collect it today. We needed to get some other stuff. So we went into the post office, picked it up, and bada bing, bada boom, we got ourselves our new camera. So what does this Hero 13 Creators Edition have? Well, right now I'm holding it on a similar floaty thing. It's a built-in tripod, and it's got the media mod, which is why the audio quality is a little bit different, and it's got a light bar on the top. So if I'm doing night work, for example, I could have the light nice and bright or flashy if I really wanted to, and, well, yeah, it's gonna improve things vastly over the next coming months and videos and stuff, and we're bringing you along the ride. And of course, I'm probably going to be having a huge backlog of videos going forward. This, by the time you'll see this, this will probably come out on this channel's 7th anniversary. So happy birthday to TJM Farming, and happy birthday to me. So, and to everyone who's subscribed and commented and liked the videos along the way for the past 7 years, thank you. We're just getting started. I have watched some videos on YouTube saying that the Media Mod isn't exactly the greatest in mic quality in the world, but hey, which would you rather? The built-in microphone from the GoPro itself and have bloody wind noise all the time, or filtered out wind noise. Let's jump into the Kubota and, well, first of all, let's show you a nifty feature. This USB stick here, this is a USB-C cord, and one of the handy things about the Hero 713 Creators Edition is that it's got this Volta thing, so it's sort of like a battery pack built into it, as well as a tripod, and it's got Bluetooth connection. So in other words, you may have heard in a couple of other videos with the old camera, I used to have to go and put my hand over the top of the screen like this, and it would always, in the editing, leave this like that, sort of like staticky noise. And I always hated that because it almost always made it difficult to edit the end part of that clip. But with this one, it's as simple as, well, connecting the Volta via Bluetooth connection, and I can have the GoPro charging at the same time as this, and it's simple as pressing a button down the side and off you go. No more of that weird noise up the top. And the best part about the Volta is, well, you can have it charging on the go. This charger and this charging cord is actually from the multiple battery packs that we've got on the farm that we've bought since the big battery charger got damaged. We've resorted to battery packs, which came with a bunch of these USB-C cords intended to really charge the battery packs, but we can also utilize this to charge our devices on the go, which are mostly phones and this GoPro here with USB-C connections. So say, for example, if the Volta's running low on charge and are going, uh-oh, I'm gonna run out of battery, well, two things could happen. One, I could dismantle the media mod, take the light bar off the top, and then pull the GoPro out to change over the battery on the go and just keep going without having to turn around and come home to charge it every time. Or I could just simply go to the back. You probably can't see it on the camera here. I could simply go to the back, plug a USB-C in, and then it's as simple as next time I turn the Kubota on, suddenly, bada bing, bada boom, the GoPro's charging. Now, this next part is something that I'm extremely interested in. How much of the Kubota noise does this camera actually pick up? Let's find out. We need to go get back to farming anyway, so have a little audio test. Another nifty feature too is I can see the volume levels on the screen on the front as well, so I know exactly what I'm filming, which should hopefully make these camera angles a lot better for you guys. So yeah, this is the first time that I'm using this. Is it going to be, well, practical? Absolutely. Is this going to improve the video quality? Well, we'll wait and see. The only thing that I don't necessarily like about this is that I need to take the media mod off to take the SD card out. But maybe GoPro can improve that down the line, I'm not sure. So who's ready to see Dad in ultra wide lens? Okay, GoPro review over for now. We need to get back to farming. Since you last seen us, we've got our oat crop in, the hay crop's in those two little paddocks. And what we're trying to do right now is put the pre-emerge chemical into the sprayer, and then Dad's gonna do around 1 or 2 trips out to the west end and go spray pre-emerge out. So while Dad's filling up the chemicals into the sprayer, Bindi, Sue and I, we need to go and do some shed work. Come on, Bindi. Bindi, don't let the cat distract you. Right. So, I know I said Ehrenfeld is a pretty windy farm. Well, crazily enough, the wind has completely died down. Dad's putting the second tank of spray out as we speak, and he found 3 ewes in the west end. So what we need to do, go track down those ewes and get them out of this paddock. They're probably the ones that were in Sandalwood behind us. Hopefully the audio fixed itself, because I know that it briefly stopped working partway through shifting shape, so I probably have a bunch of muted footage that I'm yet to go through, which is really disappointing because I was talking about some good shit. But if technical difficulties, I'm still trying to get used to this camera, but hey, let's get to work. Now I have put the advanced settings on the GoPro, including the hyper smooth. So where the paddock's being bumpy, you'll probably see the Kubota shift about quite a bit, but hopefully the camera footage should stay fairly smooth and straightforward, which is, apart from the microphone, one of the main reasons why I bought this camera in the first place. Now I know Dad said that these ewes were right up the west end where he was spraying. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones in the sandalwood, but they could also be the ones that broke away. Because when I was attempting to film, I was filming shifting shape out of here. We also have one lamb unaccounted for because Bindi Sue got all of them except for one, which she cut off. We're not happy about that, not impressed, but that happens. You can see behind us, Dad's on the sprayer at the moment. We're putting the pre-merge down. We should be ready to go. Bring the combine over here after we've done this. Trouble is, we can't. And that's not because we don't want to, it's just we need to widen the gates. So I'm not sure where these sheep are. I know Dad sent a photo. They could have run away, they might not have, who knows. Need to try and keep out of the sprayer's path. And in real time, Dad's saying there's a lot more than 40 hectares. Well, I tried to do some footage of that earlier. There's this flash farming app called AgriWeb we've been using, and I think that, yeah, there's a lot more than 40 hectares there. That's right, because it's around 66 hectares. We mapped this paddock out. Turns out there's a lot more hectareage than we thought. It's just a matter of trying to find where these sheep are. You can see Dad down there with the sprayer. Ah, there's these sheep, and they've got lambs with them. Okay. Yep, righto. 3 mums with 3 babies. We might find that other missing lamb yet. We'll see. These are the stragglers. Must have escaped the others when I was bringing them out earlier. Come on, mamas, we don't need you in here. There's all this chemical shit on the ground that we don't want you eating. These lambs have got a couple of long tails on them. No, you're not coming back up the hill. Come on. Come on. Let's go take you to the rest of the mob. This is some real-time riveting content. Whatever you're doing, please stick together. Thank you. Oh, I hope they don't try and go back into the sandalwood. Alright. No, don't break away. Please, for goodness sake, stick together. Yeah, the lamb's got the right idea. She's going, come on, Mum. Gotta stick with the others. Now, I'm not sure what the sheep are going to try to do, whether they're going to try and go back into the sandalwood or what. But we can't have them in the sandalwood either. Righto, so Karen and her lamb are still in here. So that's 1 ewe, 1 lamb, and another lamb unaccounted for. Regardless, the other 2 ewes and lambs, they got pushed out of the paddock by the tractor, and yeah, Dad said there's more than 40 hectares, and we ran out of spray. So there's probably going to be 5 hectares worth where no chemical's been sprayed at all. And we've also just learned that, well, we've got caterpillars on the ground, which at first you may say, well, caterpillars, insects, that's a good thing, right? Right, wrong. Caterpillars eat leaves. And if we're putting a crop in here, that means if we don't take care of the caterpillars, a very likely situation that the oats could be eaten. So we need to find some sort of solution. I've just got a headache from bloody Karen sheep, but I'm just ready to go home. I'm tired. I'll see you later. See you tomorrow. Righto, good morning. You join us on a moisture-filled morning. It's July 2nd today, and the windscreen on the Kubota is foggy. That's alright, that's to be expected. They were forecasting 10 to 15 mils of rain today. I apologise if my voice is sounding a little bit off today. I've got some kind of cold going on, but cold or not, we still need to get work done. So the plan for this morning, we found a slight problem with the Johnny tractor last night. It's got a fuel leak. That's the reason why it's going through so much diesel. So, despite the fuel leak last night, we got all the spraying done. Now, the plan for this morning is we need to fix the augers, we need to get the combine filled up with some seed, and then put the rest of the seed in the silo. And then after that, we need to go into town and get a pass. So, this is day 2 of using the new GoPro. We did have some technical difficulties yesterday while I was still trying to get used to it. Hopefully the audio will come through okay today. But we'll see how we get on. And what I'm really interested to see, because we drove around this with the GoPro yesterday, what I'm really interested to see is how this thing's gonna handle being on the gator, because the gator, as you know, has no windscreen. And so that was one of the drawbacks with using the old GoPro on that, because of the wind noise. Maybe if we take the gator out this time, we might have a better effect. You never know.
There's a bit of resistance there, but I don't want to pull it apart. Well, you can't pull them apart.
For some additional context, everybody, with the auger motors need to be fixed, and this is the fuel part that basically lets fuel in when you turn the starter on it. And what it's supposed to do, as soon as it gets power, this top bit right here is supposed to retract. But for the life of us, Dad in particular, we just cannot figure out how to get it going. There's got to be some kind of electric magnet, like a little magnet in there, but right now, apart from a short, we don't know why it's just not picking up power. That's only one part in one of the motors. Both of our augers, which are Farm King, both of them are currently out of action. Which I mean, okay, if we had just enough seed in the truck to put in the combine, we wouldn't need to worry about getting the augers going, but we've got enough oat seed in the truck to put in the silo and in the combine. And this is a problem because one bin has the seed, the other bin has the fertilizer. We can put more seed in the combine, but it may be more than enough for over 10 hectares. And we need to put some barley in the ground as well. And the only way we can get barley is to have that bin empty from the oat, go back up to Badgie, get some more barley seed from the silo and bring that back. And the only way to empty the truck is to put it in the combine, and if there's any leftover, which there will be some leftover, we need to put that in the silo. And the only way we could put that in the silo is with the augers. I wish it was as simple as it was in Farming Simulator, where you could just take it to a workshop, press a button, say it's X amount to fix this, and then boom, it's done. But no, unfortunately, real life, it's a lot more complicated. So I think what we'll do, we'll take the gator today, and we'll see how the wind noise goes. See if it's much better or if it's not much of a difference at all. Oh yeah, the tractor's still on the sprayer. We need to fix the fuel hose on that. Welcome to the Moylan silos. Bought these initially thinking that we were going to get a crop off in 2023, but that didn't eventuate because the crop didn't grow. So these have basically been sitting empty for the best part of 2 years. It's one less expense because we got them now and we need to put seed in them, but the only way to put seed in is with this auger or that auger over there. One's an 841, the other's an 846. Thing we should also mention about our particular augers, there's a couple of different types of augers for silos. Ours are driven by little motors. This one is I think that's a Honda motor. Yeah. They're both Honda motors. So basically, if any of these little motors break, it's as simple as pulling them off, and you can still try to fix them, but if they're written off for any sort of reason, you could just simply pull it off and buy a second-hand one for cheap, put it back on again, and you're set. And comparing that to the augers that you would find in Farming Simulator, for example, the closest you get to one of these augers right now in Farming Simulator, you'd have to go back to Farming Simulator 22, where you had the AGI pack. It had a bunch of Westfield, like, yellow augers. You had a PDO driven one. We don't tend to get those in Australia. That's more of an American thing. And then you got ones that run off little motors like the ones we have. And yeah, the closest you get is the big quote unquote AGI auger in Farm Sim that runs off petrol motor. Now, because I did have my new computer that I bought with the funds generated from the rock picking, I did end up playing around with Farm Sim 25 a bit, and I'm disappointed to find that we're back to square one with where the augers are concerned. Seriously, Giants, you dropped the ball on this one. It would be nice to have something like that, without the motors that seize if you don't use them for 2 years, that is. Now, this auger in particular holds a cheeky title in our family. This is the world's fastest farm king. The reason why we did that is because I think it was this auger that was the first piece of machinery that we brought down to Erinvale, and we towed that behind the old Holden Rodeo, and we went down the back roads at 100 kilometers an hour and lost the fuel tank halfway between our current farm and Canna. I think we lost it somewhere around Free Springs. So some lucky farmer up there probably got a free fuel tank sitting on the side of the road. I think it was the 841 that was the first bit of machinery that we brought down here, and immediately we needed to get a new fuel tank for it.
Again, you see the plastic bugger that holds that.
Yeah.
This one's only got 2. Yep, that one had 4. This one, the needle's held in with the screws, and they tend to strip. And of course, this one, you can't get the friggin' spanner in there. This one I've pulled apart that many friggin' times.
Well, this ain't the first time that... How many times did we... I know we had to fix this at least once or twice before down here, but I suppose it must have done at least a couple 100 times up at Canna too. Did it, or not really?
Yeah, this one, yeah. The other one's a new motor. I haven't never touched that other one before.
Despite that one over there being slightly older than this one, or is it the other way round?
No, I put a new motor on that other one.
Yeah, new motor on that one, despite the auger itself being older.
Yeah, this is the one we used to use for seed. The other one we used to use for feed. So this is probably a GTX. Oh, this is a 620. The other's a 630. So the other's got more horsepower. Undo these things. Undo. Get. This is where it gets hard. This has got to come off. This little one's off. Right. Oops. Now don't lose that. We're going to undo that. And that's a Phillips screw, and it's probably friggin' stripped. See? See how that one moves? The other one wouldn't move.
Okay.
So you stick it on there, turn the key on, and it retracts. Eh?
Okay, so that one's definitely working.
That one's working. So why this one didn't run, I don't know. On that big motor, that's what that's supposed to do, and it's not working. So, this might have, this is gummed up here, look.
Yeah.
So I need some cleaner. Needles gummed up.
Well, that's the thing about these motors. I'm I'm not sure if it's the same in like with boats and stuff, they're left for a long time, but they're designed to be used a lot. And if they're not used a lot, if they're sitting outside for long periods of time, they get gummed up. And when they get gummed up, that basically means that we need to pull it apart just like we're doing right now. And now I probably won't get comments asking that in this video, but chances are there'll be someone out there one day watching this video going, well, if it gets gummed up from sitting outside doing nothing for long periods of time, why not put the augers in the shed? Haha, wow.
Wouldn't make any difference with this problem.
That, and have you ever seen any farmer put a big auger underneath a shed? It's not very common. Most of, if not all the farms around here anyway, always leave their augers outside because, well, one, they're not really designed to go inside a shed, and two, the sheds, if there's enough space in a shed, it's usually reserved for the more expensive pieces of machinery like the tractors, the sprayers, the spreaders, etc.
It's probably blocked. And looks like we can't get it out. Looks like I've had a go at getting this one out already once.
And it always seems to be the tiniest little bit of shit blocking up that stops the whole thing from working. Ooh, is that loosened up? Yes, look at that.
Now that is clean. So why didn't that bloody work? I have no idea. Unless it's blocked further in. Right, I pull it through. This other one blocked internally. Right, I'll let it go. Oh no, I can blow through it. Well, if it's not that, then it must be the stale fuel.
Yeah, because that's the other factor. I do believe this dropped.
This way.
Yeah, and
we've got to get all these little fucking hoses on as well. We've got to put this. This model at the moment too. Yeah, there.
moment of truth. Really? Right. Almost. A lot of smoke. Have you ever seen an auger roll coal? Well, now you have.
And now it stops again. One of them needles somewhere is not working. well, I suppose I better go to town. Oh, find the other part.
Right, well, the Johnny had a fuel leaking problem, but literally holding it together with a bit of hose lying around and some hose clamp, it's sorted for now. It's not a permanent solution or anything. I want to get it fixed properly because these temporary fixes, you know, they'll hold for a couple of days, but we don't know how long they'll last. So the plan is we'll go into town, get some parts. We'll need to get a filter for the Little Red as well. Little Red desperately needs a service. It's been a workaholic tractor and enough's enough. We need to fix it. Righto, so my camera's having a few technical difficulties with the Bluetooth pairing. It's the afternoon on Wednesday. Rain's on the way. We got one of the augers going.